barrier.
Hey everybody, I'm Mark Walters, and because we didn't cover everything we needed to cover in our 4-hour interview the last time, I'm once again sitting here with the very lovely Jennifer Blanc Biehn and Michael Biehn. This time we're at South by Southwest, the South by Southwest Film Festival, which Michael just informed me is his very first film festival. And,
First film festival.
I find that extremely hard to believe.
You know what? I've been invited to a few by the companies that made the movies, and but I really don't like to promote a movie that I don't feel really good about, or a performance that I don't feel really good about. And this is the first movie that I've been in, that I've been invited to a film festival, that I really felt that I could come and talk about it as being like, I'm really proud of being in this movie. This is a really good movie in my opinion. It's a really, really good movie. And so, you know, it's taken 35 years, but
and the movie we're talking about is The Divide.
The Divide is right. Yeah.
Which Michael stars in and is phenomenal in, and I make an appearance
She might be a little bit biased.
No. I make an appearance in it as Michael's wife, Liz, named after our producer Ross Dinnerstein's lovely wife. And but Michael's really, really, truly a force to be reckoned with.
Everybody is like great in this movie.
True too.
And what's interesting about this movie is that there was a structure of a script. We shot it in sequence. It's about these 7 people that are underground and stuck underground, and they eight people, and they are in a bunker that I have built. I'm a former fireman, 9/11 kind of survivors, and have kind of gotten paranoid and built like this underground bunker basement part of an apartment building, and I'm like the landlord of the building, but I, you know, like set up the basement as being this like bunker. And so when you think, oh, this guy's paranoid, but an event does occur, and some of his tenants come in to his place for safety, and he kind of had planned to be there by himself, but he ends up with like 6 or 7 extra people, and they're down there, and I'm all about like keeping everything sealed, keeping all the radiation out and everything. And some of the younger people are all about, well, what's going on out there? What's going on out there? So we have this fight. They end up going out, finding out things that they probably didn't want to know. We end up getting sealed in this bunker. Okay, sealed in. So it turns into a tomb. All right. And as the food starts running low, it turns into kind of Lord of the Flies, all right? But now the deal is we never really had a full, the script was like, they came to me and they said, all right, here's the script, this is your character, Michael, but what would you really like to do with him? You know, what would you like to do with this character? And so I talked to the writer who was rewriting the script, and I said, this is who I want to be. This is how I want to sound. This is where I'm coming from as this character. And he did that with every actor in this movie. And we did it as an improvisational kind of movie from shooting it from day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, like shot it in sequence, the only time I've ever done that before. And everybody was like coming up with ideas and throwing out ideas and improvising while we were shooting it, and just coming out with ideas. And when you get, there's a kid named Milo Ventimiglia and Michael Eklund. And Ivan, what's Ivan's last name?
Ivan Gonzalez.
These guys are so dedicated, so passionate about this movie.
They're all terrific,
and their performances. And I'm telling you, I look at it like, and I look at Milo, and I look at Michael Eklund, who created a character out of thin air. Michael Eklund's performance in this is like, it's brilliant, because if you had read the script originally, you wouldn't even have noticed the character was hardly even there, okay? But he kept bringing stuff, you know. And I'd see Michael Eklund bring stuff, and I said, well, I better get my game.
And meanwhile, he hasn't stopped
since
the Divide.
Going like, you know, like, I want my chunk. Roseanne Arquette, she's been around. She wants her piece, you know. And pretty soon, you know, like, everybody's in there, like, it's like throwing raw meat, you know, to actors when you go, like, go ahead, do anything you want here, guys, you know.
Yeah.
And you got to be, and it was, and then, like, the camps kind of divided, and people in real life started, like, fighting with each other, and it got, you know, really pretty tense
Yeah.
while we were shooting, and Xavier was back there, and he's just back there. He's
like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain,
behind the curtain, yeah. And so it was a really truly unique for me, who I've been acting for 35 years. It was such a unique experience. Never have I ever worked in any situation that was like this. And what comes about to me is some great performances. I look at Milo and Michael Eklund's performance in this, and I'm just like, my God, these guys are fucking awesome, awesome. I look at myself and I'm like, well, it's the same old Michael Biehn. I don't know. Other people tell me
everyone's riveted by Michael's performance.
I've actually read like reviews of people that have seen advanced, prints of the film, and they specifically were very complimentary of you.
He's terrific. But Michael Eklund, speaking of which, is doing another movie for
Darren, the writer.
For Darren, the producer, and Aaron, the writer, who's directing it, and who he hasn't stopped. He did like 3 movies in between, to divide 3 other movies, and now this incredibly intense movie that he's doing in Germany now. So this guy, you're gonna be seeing Michael Eklund like all over the place, and Milo, you never see him like this.
We used to finish shooting, and we were staying at a hotel, and we couldn't smoke at the hotel, so we had to go outside. And I'd always come down and wonder who was going to be outside smoking. And Milo would be down there, Michael would be down there, and Ivan would be down there. And we'd all still be in it, talking about the movie, talking about our grievances, talking about who we liked and who we didn't. It was always just it was like
like high school.
It was a little bit like high school, but
Well, it sounds to me like it was competitive, but it was also collaborative.
Well, it was, but it was also like art imitating life, and then life imitating the art.
Yeah.
It was very bizarre how that took a life of its own.
It had to be
in front of everybody.
It had to be, or you just got, you either had to jump in there and go, or you were just going to get kind of pushed out of the way. Lauren's character really was the lead of the movie. And Lauren German,
yeah.
And her character is really the solid. We kind of see the movie from her point of view,
it's like her
and she's great in it too. I mean, she does a great job in it, and she's really, really good. I've worked with her before, and I saw her originally in one of the
Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
and she was in like 2 or 3 scenes in that movie.
She blew you away.
And
in
I was
that,
like,
I know.
oh my God,
So he was
she was
excited
so
that she
good.
was on this.
Then I worked with her on another movie, which was a movie that was not quite so good, that they invited me to the film festival for, that I thought, like, you know what, I won't go to this one because I had a hard time promoting it, So I like Lauren a lot, and she's really good too. But yeah, this was one of the best acting experiences of my life, where we were able to just just go for it, and come up with ideas and create the characters ourselves. I mean, basically, I don't want, my character went from being the antagonist to something else. I'll just say that, and it all changed while we were shooting. The movie changed, and it went where it was going to go. You know how writers talk about, well, I'm writing and I just go where the character takes me. You know how writers, and I'm not a writer per se, like a novelist, and so at all, not per se, but at all. And I can never quite understand that, but that's what happened here. It just kind of went the way that it went, And again, Xavier's back there.
He is. When you interview Xavier, you'll see he's like, when you see the movie, because you'll interview him after you see the movie. You'll watch the movie and you'll be like, this man is just disturbed, like, oh my God, and then you sit down with him. And he's just this lovely, lovely, lovely soul.
Sweetheart.
And it's just interesting what comes from that mind, It's
a sweeter guy you could never meet.
No.
And it's, again, I think I did another interview, which I had mentioned. It kind of reminds me of David Lynch. I remember meeting David Lynch when I was younger. I met him a few times. And
do you think he was going to be
sweet.
Like weird?
I thought he was going to be odd, with the movies that he had made up until that point, And he, of course, was not. He's just this kind of like, suit and tie sort of a guy.
Yes, The pictures that our DP from The Victim took of David Lynch, he's got on his website.
Always wears the same.
Always the same like suit. He has this little like collegiate little outfit. Looks like a San Francisco banker.
But,
You know,
what, you
David
see,
Lynch.
what you see on film is like something completely different, and that's the same with Xavier.
He likes to call him Xavier for the entire run
I
of the
actually
Divide.
thought that's how you-
He called him Xavier. We have a running joke though because he called him Xavier. His name is Xavier, and ask Xavier when you interview him about Michael's panties.
Michael's panties.
Yes, just say what would you like to say about Michael's panties, and I'll just tell you. We went to do Bikram yoga together, all of us. Me, Xavier, Jan, who was his first AD, Michael, and some other people went in and out. Carlo Rizzo, who's the editor, and anyway, Xavier has a very thick French accent, and they also call men's underwear or like swim trunks or whatever, yoga pants, panties in their translation to English. And so, he's getting in the elevator and he's like, Michael, don't forget your panties.
But see,
And we were just like,
But I didn't.
What?
But I didn't even know. I didn't even know that he
Would
was
you like to
talking-
confess something
No,
right
but
now?
but I didn't
he
even know
thought he was going to
talking-
get yogurt.
I thought because he said, Michael, you want to tomorrow we get yogurt. We do yogurt, and I thought like he wanted.
So he was utterly
you want to come with
confused.
us and come to do yogurt? And I'm like, well.
You know a great
sure.
yogurt bar or something?
Yeah, like
He was just like, okay.
12 o'clock, yeah, I'll
My
meet you down
director,
here
sure.
for yogurt, And then I'm getting out of the thing. He's like, don't forget your panties. And I'm like,
And we were all like, I think we were getting in and he yelled it. And I think Aaron Sheen was in the elevator with us and we were just like on the floor rolling, like all of us. And so when Michael's last day, like Xavier put on over his jeans like these big pair of panties that said Mickey's Panties on it, which is his character's name. And I think I have a picture of him on Facebook that you could find.
Oh, absolutely.
And
You better
pull
believe
up on
it.
the site. But Xavier will talk to you about the panties. for
Well,
sure.
the other thing that I noticed, like the clips that I've seen from this film, it looks stunningly gorgeous. I mean, like just the style of the film is beautiful. I mean, it like you said, we were talking about that a second
Laurent.
ago. That it's not a pretty film, but it's a beautifully shot film.
Beautiful.
Right.
But it's very haunting. In a
well,
lot of ways.
again, we were talking about the Black Swan.
Yeah.
The Black Swan is a disturbing movie.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people go like, well, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Because it's disturbing.
It's a horror movie.
Yeah, and so is this. This is The Divide is a horror movie, and it will make you feel uneasy,
Yeah.
to say the least, And it is not a violent movie like Saw or Hostel or those type of movies. It has some kind of gnarly, I hate saying that word.
Gnarly Gnarlington.
I hate saying that word, but I do use it in my own vocabulary, and so I'm going to continue to use it.
And he's Gnarly Gnarlington.
I heard your panties are pretty gnarly.
You tell him?
Usually they're black, so
yeah,
nobody
I forgot
has to know.
It's,
what's
it's funny
going
when I
on in
saw
there.
Black Swan and they asked, they always poll the critics when you come out, and they said, what did you think about the movie? And I said, it's the most beautiful horror movie I've ever seen.
Right.
And somebody said, well, that's a really interesting way to put it. And I said,
Yeah,
but
it
it is. Because I don't think people realize that it is a horror movie when they go into it.
Right.
And that's why certain people, I think, got rubbed the wrong way. But it's a stunning...
I think
Well,
people
and-
also
and-
didn't realize that the movie was actually portraying the actual ballet of Black Swan.
Yes.
And I don't think people
Yeah.
were able to wrap their head around that.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to wrap.
But that's
their
one of the
head
things that intrigues me about The Divide is stylistically it looks beautiful.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And, you can look at Frontiers, and, it is a beautiful movie. But, that's kind of the dichotomy of it. It's like Requiem for a Dream, It's just like this incredible style.
But your stomach
but,
hurts.
But it's painful to watch,
Yeah.
But you can't take your eyes off of it,
Right.
It's like a car accident, It's like horrible to watch, but you can't take your eyes off of it because it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And
And then on top of it, the performances, and there's just a lot about it. It's also the human condition and the whole thing that, like in the book Lord of the Flies, which you've talked about, it's putting people in a situation where you see where their humanity takes them.
Sure, man against man.
Which is ugly.
To me, is man against man or woman against woman. It's more
Horrific.
horrifying than any monster or anything that
Totally.
you could show
yeah,
somebody.
because everybody always goes pretty much the same place.
Sure.
For their
Yeah.
own.
People get dark for their own survival,
You
yeah,
know,
safety.
and we think of ourselves as so modern and so you know, we think of ourselves as so alien from some of those, like the things that take place in this movie. Like, Michael Biehn, well, I would never do anything like that. But, you know, it wasn't that long ago, right here in the good old United States, that things were happening in the South, for instance, you know. 40 years ago, you know.
Yeah.
Bad things, you know, really bad things, and throughout history and throughout time,
The
man is,
atrocities
you know, and if you look at like what's going on in Libya right now, if you look at what's still happening in Egypt or the Sudan or Somalia, all these fucking places, you know, I mean, it's when it
Sure.
when it comes down to it, you know, especially your survival, I think you'll do just about anything, you know, or for the survival of a loved one, you know.
Yeah. There's a line in I can't think of the movie for some reason right now, but there's a line in the movie where somebody says something to the effect of, you know, man is a very civilized creature, but if you take away, you know, God, I wish I could remember the line. It's something like, you know, if you take away that comfort zone, you take away the electricity, you take away what the knowledge or something, then that's when you see what they really are, you know, deep down. And I've always found that very fascinating. Last time we talked about The Mist, and how The Mist, I think one of the things that makes that movie so brilliant is it's not about the creatures outside. It's about the people that are stuck inside that store and what the lengths that they're willing to go to basically confront one another. And that's what intrigues me about this.
And while The Mist actually was, I agree, like a great film and thoroughly enjoyable, and Laurie Holden's an old friend. The Divide is way darker.
Way darker.
Than that goes, yeah. Like way darker. You'll see.
Yeah. I can't wait. It's a midnight movie. Am I going to have to watch the Disney Channel after
You
this?
might. We all might need to just like go eat some candy and
like
cotton candy and go to a carnival.
Channel, you know? again,
The Mist, like a Disney Channel movie, yeah.
You know, it's not gratuitous violence.
Yeah.
That you know,
It's just
but it
intense.
is violent, and it's sexually explicit in a violent way, and both male and female, and it's just dark. And
it's dark, but it's beautiful at the same time.
Let's switch gears and talk a little bit about The Victim, because we talked a lot about that last time.
Yes.
And you were just telling me, Jennifer, that you guys are very close to having the final cut now. So that now what's the next step at this point?
Well, we leave here. We leave South by Southwest, and Monday, after a day of press and stuff, we get on the plane. We get back at like 8 o'clock at night. The very next morning, we're at Lotus in Santa Monica, who is our final mix stage in our sound facility, and Jihan Wang has written the final song that he needed to write, and today I've been dealing with this all day. They're in the process of making sure they have all the music they need and everything they need to do the prep on Monday, and Michael gets in there Tuesday morning, and he's got 5 days of a final mix with, like, you know, all his sound and just the whole thing coming together with whatever visual effects are on camera while the sound is going. And then once the final mix is done, there's a couple more visual effects things that have to happen. And the end credits need to be finalized, and then we're rolling.
Done.
And I'm not sure where we're rolling, but we just want it to find we want The Victim to find its right home. It's really a movie for the fans, and it's a movie that the fans are going to love. For many reasons, probably one reason being because Michael wrote it, directed it, and stars in it. Another reason being because it's a good, solid thriller. Another reason because it's exploitational. It's exploitation at its best, really. Like, it covers the gamut of exploitation. So we're just trying to figure out what the right fit and the right home is for it, and then we want it to.
So are you thinking maybe like the film festival circuit would be a good place to kind of test it out and see?
We may.
Yeah.
We may do a private screening, one private screening, and then decide after that if we're going to premiere it at a film festival or premiere it where.
I don't like leaving the fate of our film in the hands of somebody. You know, who gave grand jury
Special jury prize to teeth. That's
Yeah.
where he was going with it.
You know, this movie's not made for film festivals. It is not a film
We
festival
probably will
movie.
end up premiering it at a film festival just to get the visibility, but it is not a film festival.
You know,
movie.
Yeah.
He's absolutely right.
I
mean,
never, I didn't make it for that reason. I made it
For the fans.
I made it. I wanted to prove that I could make a movie on a low budget that looked good and make money. So then I could go back to somebody else and go, look, I made a movie and it made money. How about giving me some more money so I can go make another movie?
Exactly,
You know,
yeah.
and that's what I want to do. And that's really why I did this is because I want to keep making movies. And it has nothing to do with film festivals, and it has nothing to do with art. It has to do with the fact that I love, like, making movies. And
Although Michael's performance in it, which we just got a note back from, Michael got a note back from Robert Rodriguez tonight, who saw a not final mixed cut of the movie, so it's going to be even better than what Robert got to see. And his response was that he
said he thought it was very entertaining and that he enjoyed it. And it
his
was great.
sister
Thought
thoroughly
the
enjoyed it.
performance was very good.
he was
You know,
very
he was very
impressed
nice.
with that Michael could give such a good performance while at the same time directing.
Yeah.
And on top of Michael is actually subtly brilliant in it, which it kind of, if you see the movie a few times, it kind of starts to grow on you how, I'm sure Robert was able to pick it up right away, but I've seen it many times and I get more and more impressed with his performance every time I see it. And everybody in it gives a good performance though, I would say.
Is it hard to direct yourself?
No, but it's not, because I'm so into the movie when I'm directing it. I'm so involved with the shot and what's in the shot and what emotion is supposed to be there for the actors that I'm already involved. I'm already acting. I'm already kind of like, you know, that character is just me. That character is just Michael Biehn in this guy's circumstances. That's all it is, you know. So I'm there anyway. So whether I'm working with her and Danielle, I'm there. Whether I'm working with Ryan and Denny and me, I'm there. I'm always there. I'm there from the moment I get up and start looking at the set, saying like, we haven't done this with this set. Where's this? We need that. You know, where's so and so? Let's go. Times, you know, where's our first? Let's get our first shot. You know, we're doing 40 setups a day. You know. And that's not like lens changes. That's 40
And when you
times
see
you
the
put the camera.
performances, Michael, you know,
they're all
myself,
good.
Ryan,
They're all
they're
good.
all solid in
the movie-
on their
in-
own, but then with 40 setups a day, it's like,
And the
whoa.
movie looks really good, and it's going to have a beautiful soundtrack,
Mm-hmm.
and the sound itself is going to be beautiful. So
And it's when we were just talking about the Divide has a much bigger look. This is a more contained, smaller little movie, but still very entertaining and very good.
But
Yeah.
but I take particular pride in the fact that although we've kind of sold it as this grindhouse kind of movie, you know, meaning you kind of think the sound's going to be maybe a little cheesy, or like it won't be shot that well, or something that's supposed to be, you know, you see the sun coming up in a you know, it's not. It's shot beautifully, lit beautifully. The sound is going to be really good on it. I mean, the guys who are doing the sound on it did The Fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so I mean, you know, the sound's going to be great. And
they did The Divide.
Jihan's, you know, worked with Jim Cameron on all his underwater documentaries. You know, so we got a great soundtrack.
Great composer.
So what I've really done is I've kind of like used that grindhouse, that moniker that Quentin and Robert created to help kind of frame my movie, which is basically just a low-budget exploitation movie.
Yeah.
It's not anything that's
not like a gritty
what
piece
they
of
do.
film.
It's not gritty. It's beautiful.
But
Yeah.
it's
You know, it's
exploitative.
it's low budget and exploitation. It's a it's a 2010 version of a grindhouse movie. And like I said, I might have said this to you before the last time we talked. When I was a kid, I used to go to the movies, and I used to go to and we used to see double features, like at the drive-in, and the first one would be like Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, you know, and it'd be like Paul Newman, Elizabeth Taylor, but the first movie would be like Vic Morrow and Connie Stevens, and you know, like some, you know.
Yeah.
If people can get
Fla-
that about
you know,
our film, we
Yeah.
would be so happy because
Yeah.
that is what we've got, and it's fun.
I
and
miss
it's good.
I basic- right?
I miss double features.
Yeah, I miss double features too. I mean, I try to give the audience an idea of what's going on with my movie a little bit. Is in the opening shot of the movie, there's a Steadicam shot in the movie, right? And I'm working on a visual effect that is got the words that are kind of out of focus. And you're going through the woods, and first of all, the opening sequence is kind of like this hard driving music with like serial killer, like newspaper clippings and missing girl clippings and
Posters.
height and weight and missing. You can tell something bad is happening.
Faces of
Serial
dead
killer,
girls.
missing girls type of stuff. And then after the credits, we go into this Steadicam shot and we're going through the woods. And we go through the woods for about 5 or 10 seconds, and the music is playing like really scary music, like something really bad's going to happen. And I have the words kind of come up like out of focus and then into focus, and it comes into focus. The bottom part comes into focus, and it says based on true events. And then on top of it, it says, and it comes into focus, it says not based on true events. So I kind of let the audience know right away, okay?
Yeah.
This is what we're doing, all right?
And if you get it, you get it.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but there's no other jokes in the movie.
Yeah.
But,
Does
that's...
Zavi like that part?
Yeah, Zavi like that.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
just Xavier is so like, I could just see him being like, oh.
I mean, I have not seen. I can't remember the last time I saw a low-budget horror movie that wasn't based on true events, and so I just thought.
It's always based
and
on
again,
true
what
events.
what we did with the end credits, we're very proud of, and I don't know if we told you about that last time, but
wonderful.
what we do is like at the end of the movie, you know how you see in movies, like Quentin's movies actually, where you see like,
Uma Thurman
end
as
of the movie, and then all of a sudden you cut to a shot of like the actor
Her name and their
from
character.
apart from the movie,
Sure.
and then it says the name underneath and so on and so forth. So we do that with me, and then we do it with Jen and Ryan and so on and so forth. Then we go to the crew, and when we have the crew, we had our guy who was doing our EPK
Nate Rollo, who's one of the producers on The Divide.
get everybody in the crew. So we basically give our crew all visual credits,
That's nice.
Yeah. So I think that's the first
pretty
time.
cool, and I don't think anybody's ever done that, and we're
I
kind of
don't- I
excited
can't
about that.
recall
I
that.
can't either.
Yeah.
And
So
you
we
would
think-
really be able to recall because you're a film buff.
Oh yeah. Even that Mother Scratcher Brian McQuarrie, you even got him in there.
Yes.
Oh, that Mother Scratcher, Brian McQuarrie is in there.
I love you,
we
Brian.
wanted to
I love
put Brian McQuarrie thanks under there, and then he came in as a favor, really, to us, and AD'd for 2 days for us. So I said, can we put AD? He was like, I just don't want to infringe on Lorna's territory. And Lorna was really happy to have that, so that's what's in there now.
Yeah.
And his face is in there, and it's a picture of me and him hugging.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we don't have him on film. Some we have in photographs.
Yeah, some are
but-
photographs and some are film, and it's mixed, and the photographs are kind of moving.
Yeah. Well, he's a lot of man to get on film. I can say that.
Brian McQuarrie has become a very dear friend in our world. So,
Yeah.
He's been
He's good
incredibly helpful
Well, he
to
introduced
us.
us. I
Yeah,
mean,
he
it's
introduced
like,
us, and
I would never have met you guys.
yeah,
Probably.
he's a great, actually, not only a great social networker online, but he's a great networker in life. I mean, he has a lot of connections.
Hope
and-
the check's in the mail,
yeah,
Brian.
exactly.
What's
So hire him and be his friend.
Yeah. What's coming up next for y'all after this? I mean, like, just
Well, you know
working
what?
on the victim. at this
I
point.
did an episode of Southland, I guest starred, and I did an episode of Nuclear Family in between all this while helping him produce that. And he's just been in like post-production.
Yeah.
And you can kind of talk about what we're thinking
Well,
about
I'm
doing.
always, you never know when something's going to happen with me career-wise. Anything could happen. But if nothing does happen, and I can sell this movie and make some money on it, I'm going to do Victims.
Sequel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
And
nice.
we have a story, we have an outline,
we
and
have
we
an
have
outline, and it's a good one. And I'm very happy with the treatment so far. And I just got to show that I can make money on this. And if I can't, then I'll just throw up my hands, because you
There's no
couldn't
way
have
this
done it
movie
any
shouldn't-
cheaper, and it couldn't be any better and more exploitable than what we did. So
Yeah.
we'll see, But I want to just keep making these
We
little
want to
movies.
keep
would
making
be-
little
I
movies
wanna
that
make movies that
are
like
quality, are fun.
yeah, and I like making movies where I get to make all the decisions.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, really. I mean,
He
after
likes to make all the decisions always.
you know, it's really like after as many years as I've been in the business, you know, I've always had to at some point go, you know, do it like this, do it like this, do it. Okay, you're the boss. I'll do it that way, you know.
Michael
And-
gets his way a lot, though. A lot of those characters you see, he's spent a lot of time haranguing Jim Cameron until Jim Cameron finally went fine.
No, not Jim. No,
I'm kidding.
Not Jim, but some other directors.
But Jim Cameron's always trusted you, correct? That,
Yeah.
that he's actually, if you've come in with some dialogue, he has trusted you implicitly over the years.
He's let me, I would just say, shift around dialogue a little bit, move it around, maybe add a line here and there, you know. He creates the characters of Holy.
Of course.
But I think with most of the actors, when you're working with Jim Cameron, you know, you say every word the way that it's written, you know.
On Dark Angel, we
and you
had
don't-
to. And that was Jim Cameron, but it was also Chick Egley, who worked with NYPD Blue, Stephen Bochco.
Yeah.
We could not change one line of dialogue
Yeah.
on Dark Angel.
But with Jim, I would,
And
you know,
we didn't want to.
if I wanted to change something, I would say, listen, Jim, I want to change it, but let me tell you why I want to change it. You know, I want to change it for this reason, you know. Or I don't think this and I never approach directors and say, this doesn't work.
No.
This doesn't work. I always approach the director by saying, this doesn't work, and if I think I know how we could fix it,
Yeah.
you know? And I always have an answer to what's wrong with the dialogue or the scene or the script before I never just say, this doesn't work for me. Make it work, you know?
Michael's always been particularly talented at this. Like in 1998 or 97, when I was doing Friends Till the End with Shannon Doherty, which is like this cult musical movie of the week sort of hit that people love, you know. Half of that movie Michael rewrote with me on the phone.
I did.
Yeah.
I don't
And
remember that.
you know, it was like going over dialogue for hours and him helping me write it and bringing it to the director the next day and them going, yeah, you know what, if that feels good to you, it's basically what we wanted to say, and go for it. And so he's kind of been at this for a long time, not just for himself, but good at story editing.
That's because I've spent my entire career, about half the time, you know, because I have 4 children, I have a certain lifestyle. It's not that great. I was never a big movie star, ever. I was never on the cover of magazines. I never got the huge
He's on a
paychecks.
cover now, I'll send it to you.
I'm kind of a working man's, kind of a blue collar kind of a guy as far as my salaries go and so on and so forth. So I've had to take projects that, as I read them, went, man, that's not very good. But I can make it better, you know. And I call it polishing turds, you know. And
also
I've been
been a part
doing
of a
that
lot of-
all
a
my
lot of
life.
movies that
you
were
know,
not turds,
you
but
know.
yes.
So, and I've been in
He's
some
been
good
trying
ones,
to polish
you
some.
know. You know, and usually I thought when I started it, I was going to be able to polish it into a, you know, diamond,
Yeah.
or something that was at least a metal of some value.
Yeah.
But it usually ended up being a polished turd. you
Or
know.
lipstick on a pig, whatever.
Yeah, the same deal.
There were 2 things that I wanted to ask you about the last time we talked that I just slipped my mind. One was there's a movie that I've always been very intrigued by that you did called Deadfall.
Yes.
It's a very, very unusual film, and I can't decide if I love it or if it repulses me. It's really confusing. I just
know him very well, so I'm just waiting
I just don't
for
know.
the response right now.
But I mean, do people come up to you and mention that film a lot? Because a lot of people I know, more people have seen it than I thought had seen it, and it's I find it a very
You're
fascinating
making
film.
him upset right now.
No.
That's why you're in between us. But you know,
Oh, he's got an anger problem. He's beat up quite a few people. No,
No,
I'm just kidding. And that's the couch.
that was the couch.
That
though,
was
by
the
way. That was
couch.
totally the couch.
Or Michael, but
You know what?
either one.
Um,
Sorry. It's turning into
I
a
don't
childish
really know what
moment.
to tell you about Deadfall. You know, I can tell you that it had a great cast.
Yeah.
And Christopher Coppola, who directed it, is a sweetheart. And I love working with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And Charlie was in it, and I love working with Charlie. I loved working with him on Navy SEALs, by the way, where he was nothing but a professional and fun and charismatic and a joy to be around. You know, I'll let you, you know, go to bed tonight trying to figure out whether you love it or hate it.
All on your own.
I'm gonna let you.
was Nick involved
it's
in that?
definitely the most unusual Nicolas Cage performance I think of all time,
Well,
and that's saying a lot.
I think that here's my take on that, and that is that Nicolas Cage is a great actor, really wonderful actor. You know, way up there at the top of the list of wonderful actors of his generation. I mean, like in The Rock, for instance. I mean, like he just carried that movie. I mean, I know Sean Connery was good and everything, but he was icing on the cake.
Yeah.
I mean, Nicolas Cage, and of course he won the
Phenomenal.
Academy Award for The Alcoholic. I forget the name of the Mike
Leaving Las Vegas.
Leaving
Yeah.
Las Vegas. I mean, he's a brilliant actor, wonderful actor. You know, but I'm guessing that with Nick as a director, you need to kind of hold the reins a little bit on him, you know, and he'll give you like a lot,
Yeah.
and you need to pull him back a little bit, which is better I know from being a director than like somebody who's got nothing to start off with, and you try to get something from them and you can't get anything from them. It's better to have somebody that's like all over a million different ideas, and you pull them back, you know. And I have a feeling that Christopher didn't do that. And Nick was just left to do his own thing.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a very interesting film. You know what? This is fun. We have literally run out of tape.
Okay.
Wait, no, we got like 2 minutes? About a minute left. So here's what I want to do for the minute and a half, just to reiterate.
Word association?
Let's throw out the links for the victim. It's the victim or the dash victim.
It's changed.
It's changed.
www.grindhousethevictim.com.
Grindhousethevictim.com.
Yep.
Okay. And
That
then
is-
you're also on Facebook, Twitter, and all that. And we'll put up
and
links.
there's links
oh, yeah, look at
on
this. Let's get a
our
shot of that.
site.
Yeah.
There's links on our site that take you to Michael's Twitter page,
Even-
my Twitter page, Danielle's Twitter page, Facebook page, everything.
The victim. Even bad girls need protection.
Nice. I love
am a
this
bad
image
girl.
too. This is so great.
That's for you.
So
I have
everybody
Rick Lynch
please
to thank for that.
follow the
Yeah,
victim.
Rick Lynch at BLT.
And we're going to send out information too on where you can see it when you guys decide what you want to do
Yeah.
with that stuff. And what can I say? It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for having
You
us.
know, baby, I don't know how long
for
this one
having
was. The last one was an hour, but you know,
The next one will be like 16 hours. We'll just be here for like
A marathon.
you guys are awesome.
Thanks.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's so good to see you again.